going on, everybody? You are live with Osiris. Welcome to the Author's Lounge. The world is filled with storytellers, and I, along with my guests, are here today in the Author's Lounge to help educate and inspire the young generation of writers and creators. Now, my guests are professionals in publishing, writers from a wide range of formats, and successful entertainers. They will provide beneficial advice on what to do and what not to do on your path to success. So, without further ado, I'll present to you our next guest. Let's go.
I feel so humbled many times when I have an opportunity to have a guest on this show. Aside from everything else that people have going on in their lives, you still take the time to come by and tune in some capacity. And so today, our guest, she reached out to me, and that's also a good feeling when people actually reach out to me wanting to be a guest on this platform. Our guest is an author of an ongoing tweens a tweens book series titled TWINTASTIC. Her initial book, TWINTASTIC, released in 2021, and her most recent release, TWINTASTIC in Miami, launched in November of 2025. She's been on a roll here when it comes to her books and her publications, and she's also participated in the publications behind the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, as well as the Twins magazine. And she is currently working on a children's book for preschoolers with her business partner, Wendell Haynes, who is an Emmy Award winning music composer. So I present to you the wonderful author, Miss Jacqueline Kopito. Thank you so much for coming on
Hi,
board.
how are you? Hi, good to be here. Very good to be
Yes,
here.
indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for dealing with the with the little interest. My brain is fried for whatever reason, but nonetheless, I got you. This is going to be a good time, and I cannot wait to get some special advice from you in regards to for how it was for you growing up as a twin. So just for reference, my mother is a twin, and my
Oh,
wife's sister is a twin as well. She brother and sister, and my twins are fraternal. I understand that you're an identical twin, but twins are twins, and twins do twin things, and I'm seeing them grow up. 4-year-old twins doing things together, holding each other's hand, running everywhere, and seemingly they think a lot alike. So for you, let's start with that. How was it for you growing up as a twin, and where did and how did that, I guess, livelihood of you growing up as a twin translate into your book series?
Okay. Well, I love being a twin, and it's like being born with a built-in best friend. So it was great, and we always did things together, and we always had all this fun times together. So it went into my book because there was just so many twin fun adventures. So I wanted to create a book about twin fun adventures, and then add a little magic to it, because who doesn't like magic powers?
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. What's some of the magic that you have in the story? Some of the magic abilities.
You could read each other's minds. They could they could move objects. They could freeze time for a couple of seconds.
Hmm.
So they have a whole bunch of magical powers, and they just have a lot, but it takes a while to get used to it. So they make a lot of mistakes as well with their powers, and things also blow up because if they don't use the powers together, then it creates even more problems.
Oh, nice. Oh, what I love about being a creator, or in this context, being an author, is having free range on creativity. But I'm curious, right? Because as a twin, so with my twins, how I'm seeing them, they seem to communicate telepathically. And that might
Yes.
sound crazy to people who don't understand it, but you're a twin, and I'm sure you
Oh,
understand. What's the reality in that? Is that actually a thing, or am I
no,
losing my
that
mind?
is totally a thing. I'll give you an example. Okay. This just happened like 2 years ago. I live in New Jersey. My twin lives in Connecticut, and it was my mother's birthday. So I go to the CBS in New Jersey, look at all the cards. I pick out a card. And then my sister does the same thing in Connecticut. all the cards at CVS. She picks out a card. And then my mother calls us up and she's like, I got the same card from both of you. We just like
That's
picked out the
that's
same card. We just, I don't know, we just kind of think alike.
yeah.
It's just crazy. Yeah. So things like that always
Wow.
happen.
That is that's fun. That
That's
is
funny,
fun.
right?
Now I'm curious,
Mhm.
right? How was it for you all in school, right? I looked at you all's your picture together. I'm like, dang, they look just obviously right. You're identical twins. You look just alike. But I was trying to see how can I how can I tell them apart? Because that's the thing I like when I see anytime I see a twin, I try to find something that I can distinguish them between. It was really hard to find between you and your twin. So growing up and going through school, what was that like for you two? Did you all dress alike just to kind of throw people off? Did one of you kind of swap classes just in fun to see if the teachers would know? Like, I'm so curious to hear what this experience is like for you.
Oh, yeah. Well, once you got to know us and our personalities, then, you
Mhm.
saw the difference as time went on. And so we didn't dress up that much, but we did once, switch classes because Amy, that's my twin sister's name is Amy. And,
Mhm.
we had the same biology test and I took it in the morning, but she didn't really study that much. And
Yeah,
so we switched, I took the test for her because
that's
I just had to
awesome.
study and the teacher never found out. I mean, I'm not recommending this to anybody out there, but we got away with it and it worked out.
That is
So,
awesome.
that was like really, really great. And no one ever
Yeah.
really found out. Hmm. That was
Hey,
like the one good thing.
that is that is unbelievable. That's the perk of being an identical twin. See, my twins couldn't pull that
Yes.
off. They look so different. They look the same, but they look different, right? 'Cause,
Right.
But I love that story, because it speaks to kind of almost in a sense a little bit of a superpower
Right.
that you had. Hey, let's swap. Let me just go into your classroom. I'm assuming you two had a similar tone and dialect. And wow. Oh, that is fun. Okay. So now I'm curious as well. So if a person, right, let's say, and this doesn't have anything to do with the book, but this is just my own curiosity. I just want to ask this
Oh, yeah,
question. When
sure.
you were in school, if you had somebody who was interested, like if there was a student in the classroom and they actually, oh, that high school or middle school, oh, I think I have a crush on this person. Did they ever confuse the person like, oh, man, that Jacqueline, but then it was actually Amy?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that
I don't.
definitely did happen. So, yeah, I think even a boyfriend or two might have confused us, from the back or, think, over the phone maybe.
Yeah,
So, yeah, things like that happen. But definitely after a while, then once you got to know us,
yep,
they knew the difference. But it's hard to tell us over the phone as well because we do sound very similar.
yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
hilarious. Did you ever watch the movie Parent Trap?
Yes, yes. Oh,
Yeah.
that was a good
So,
movie. Yes, yes.
uh-huh.
That's
Then
funny.
that's
Yes.
oh, that movie was hilarious, and that's what I'm thinking about. So, for those who have not seen the movie Pantrapper starring actress Lindsay Lohan, where she
Oh,
actually
yeah.
played both characters. So she's not actually a twin, but she played twins in the film. Or Sinners, if anyone's watching Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan. He played a
Oh,
twin, but
yeah.
he's also not a twin. But it's that
Right.
concept of twins doing twin things. And so that was a fun question. I thank you for entertaining me in that because I had always wanted to ask a twin those set of questions of how was that like? And did they confuse you? The test part is awesome. So I'm curious so with your book, right, with the Twintastic series that you're working on, how much did Amy? And by the way, hi Amy. How much did she participate in the creation of your book?
Oh, she didn't participate at all in the book. Like the
Yeah,
characters are loosely based on my personality and her personality. Um, so she's a very good listener. I'm more creative and impulsive. She has more patience. So there's Alex and Jordan and they're 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 in sixth grade and they go to Miami with their father
Yeah.
because he's a chef. He's a guest chef at a fancy hotel. And so they're
Mhm.
enjoying life. But then there's a thief in the kitchen. There's a so-called friend who's mean to Alex because she likes a girl. And then there's a whole social media mess that makes Jordan wish that her phone fell into the ocean. So
Oh
they
wow.
like use all their, magical powers for all these different reasons, trying to catch the thief, dealing with the mean girl, dealing with
Mhm.
social media. And then at the end, they realize that their superpower is actually believing in themselves and not
Mhm.
listening to other people's opinions.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I want to talk about thanks for sharing that, by the way. I want to talk about the message. You see, when it comes to writing a children's book or tweens, I would imagine writing a book in general, there's always some sort of a message, or ideally there's a message behind the book. But your message, from what we were talking about prior to the recording and hearing you speak now, very much the tone behind it is to never give up and always believe in yourself. Where did that come
Exactly.
from? Like, where did that genuine feeling of wanting to project that out into the world, where did that actually stem from?
I guess that would stem from, my parents. They just
Mhm.
instilled like just to keep on going. And if something doesn't work out, or you get rejected, or there's a bit of failure, the next
Mhm.
day is a new day, and just keep on moving and going forward. And I think that's very important,
Yeah.
just to
No,
keep moving
absolutely.
forward.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. And especially when when you look at how the world is and what is turned into. So there's always going to be good things and bad things, right? That comes for those who are listening. So you and I, this is nothing new for many of my listeners. A lot of them are young listeners.
Hmm.
Some of them are even as
Okay.
young as 13, 14 years old,
Oh.
still going through school, still learning their way. Even adults are still learning their way. Some haven't even found themselves well into their 70s, and unfortunately they made pass before they find themselves. And I don't wish that on anyone. I wish that everyone has well, maybe not everyone. There's some people in the world that, don't deserve anything, and they're very, very, very bad people. But the good ones, and those who just deserve a second chance, for sure, I wish that they find who they truly are, what their message is, what their gift truly is, in order to then give that and deliver that to the world. I believe that's when you truly start to live your life in a fulfilling, purposeful way. And for you, right, as an author, see, that doesn't just happen for people. You don't just wake up one day and become an author. I do believe that there's always a gift inside of someone, and
Mhm.
especially as a creator and a writer. When did you realize that you had that ability to write an actual book?
I guess I always had it in me. I just started writing little stories for the Twin magazine, and then some stories for Chicken Soup for the Soul series. And then
Mhm.
one day I just started writing, and I'm like, you know what? I
Yeah.
could write a book. And it just kept on going and going. And yeah, it was a great journey and continues to be a great journey. So
Mhm.
that's, I guess, how it started.
That's wonderful. And I remember you mentioning, right, that you have wrote Twintastic. The original Twintastic was published back in 2021, and then your most recent one released no more 2 months ago, back in November of 2025. So the gap in between those two, a few years. What what was it
True.
about that book in 2021 and that made you say, okay, you know what, let me take some time off, or maybe it just happened, maybe life kicked in, and then you came back 4 years later and then dropped another one, and now it's a continuous series. So what made you go and pause in between the books for that period of time?
Oh, that's a good question. I guess a combination of both. Life kind of happened, then the pandemic happened, and
Hmm.
just a lot was going on. And then
Yeah.
it was actually during the pandemic that I was like, you know what? I could I could write another story now. And I just started writing, and
Hmm.
took wasn't as consistent, so it took me a longer time, but that's exactly what happened. Yeah,
Oh, that's
combination.
perfect. You know, yeah, and sometimes people. don't write for long periods of time because they have other things that they want to accomplish, but they seemingly want to get back around to writing the book. And I myself, for example, right, like because I do several other things, I haven't
Yes.
actually written a book for myself in a few years, but I've worked on other projects, so my storytelling aspect continues to stay strong. But actually writing a book, I haven't done that in quite some time. So like, I certainly can understand where you're coming from on that. But at least you're still going. You're still putting out work, and you're still putting out magic and a message that can help people. And even if the message wasn't necessarily on, hey, don't give up, don't quit on yourself, the story itself and what you created is just a beautiful world that you put together, that you cultivated. And now I
Thank
do
you.
want to ask really quick, because I know I told you I'll keep you for about like 15, 20 minutes. About you and your business partner, about the children's
Oh,
book that you're
yes.
working on, the cool children's book. So first, how did you and Wendell meet, and how did you all cultivate that relationship with him being a composer, a music composer, you being an author? Where did the blend come to say, you know what? Let's write a book together.
Yeah. Exactly. I met him through my good college friend who he did a lot of work with. And so so we were just talking and, I was talking about twins and being, twintastic. And so he loves to write music. So he was like, well, we should write a book together. I'm like, absolutely, for little kids. And then he's going to eventually, put out songs with it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
so he's like a wonderful person. So my preschool line is twintastic kids. So it's
mhm,
about little kids, believing in themselves as well. And our
yeah,
first book is about the Dow twins and they're rappers. They're like, 4 or 5 years old and they just want to keep on
mhm,
rapping. And even if their puppy says, oh, you're no good. And their little kitten says, I don't like your music. They're like, we don't care. We're going to keep on rapping and believe in
yeah.
ourselves. So there's like little cute storylines. And then Wendell's going to add some music to it as well.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's the wonderful thing about working in with someone as a collaboration, is you can bounce these wonderful ideas off of one another. You can even blend cultures together. You can blend in different tones, different characters, and how what could be interpreted. Like, hey, I think the character should roll like this. What do you think? Let's how about we combine it? So just working with somebody is always a beautiful, well, maybe not always a beautiful thing, but many times it could be a
No,
beautiful thing.
it's a lot of fun. And actually how that came about for Twintastic Kids for the preschool line is that he is a 5-year-old. So
Mm,
he has such a cute little son. I'm like, we got to do something for your little son, little books for your little son. And that's actually how
yeah.
that came about, that age group. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that
So
that
that was
sounds
fun.
so yeah, I love children's stories. Like that I'm a children's book author myself, and I
Oh, right.
love the idea of being able to speak to that. And I'll have to talk to you offline. I'd like to connect with Wendell. He sounds like a fun person to talk to.
Oh,
Sounds
he's
like
great. He's
yeah.
wonderful.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. I'll
Very
talk to you about him
creative.
once we're finished with this piece. But
No problem.
yeah.
No problem.
So the before I let you go, just a couple more
Okay.
questions. I promise you, and I'll leave you to it. One question I gotta get out of the way because is on my mind is when you are actually like sitting down, it's just you and and the story, and I'm sure other people go through this part as well, where it's like, man, this is kind of lonely. It's just me, and it's just this paper or this canvas of me creating. Many authors f- have that I have met, who I have talked to, said, that part of the creation is really lonely. But the magic comes from when it's released and you can do these book tours and you can do book signing events, or you can go to schools and promote or do readings. For you, like, how was that whole experience for you when you're writing? Do you experience that feeling of loneliness? Um, and if so, how do you, I guess, keep yourself motivated on days where you really don't want to write, but you know you need to?
I actually enjoy the process. I
Mhm.
get so compulsive that I just keep on writing, and I have my outlines and papers all over the place and my whiteboard. So I get, and I think of things in the middle of the night and I write it down and I have to add it on. So I get pretty compulsive. And then, you know, if I need a break, I have my dog.
Yes.
He's a Bernese Mountain Dog. So
Oh, nice.
I didn't really get lonely. I guess I'm
Okay.
just, busy, just get very involved in my work. But of course, the days that you don't feel like writing, you really have to push yourself. I'll organize the house and then, put in a load of laundry and then something will hit me and then I'll just like get
Right.
back to it. So, but yeah, it's definitely a journey.
Oh, absolutely. Agreed wholeheartedly about that being, especially that it's a journey. One thing you said too, and I want to ask you one more question, and then then I'll close close the episode out. Well, the idea, right? You going and doing laundry, then boom, an idea comes. That's what I love about creation is you can pull ideas from anywhere at any given time. It's not like when you go to a like a 9 to 5 job and you're working and there's a schedule and you understand like, hey, I know what it's going to look like. You might have a customer or so or a client that might bring something different, but it tends to be in the confines of what you're accustomed to. But when you're creating, it's very much different because you can pull a random idea, like freaking a feather could fall from the sky, and it could happen to land on your freaking your boot on your left foot, and all of a
Right.
sudden you have an entire chapter or a story that came to you. Oh my God, that must be an angel. Oh wow, let me write about that. So do ideas come to you in that fashion as well, and then you tag that on?
Yes, it's like I'll be walking my dog and I'll listen to music and then something hits me. Music's really important and I don't know, things just hit you and then when you're walking in nature, and you're looking around and things also hit you. So it's so random how it happens, but yeah, just walking and listening to my music or being with my dog or, even running into people could like spark a conversation and be like, "Oh, wait, maybe I could that reminds me of this and, you add it into my story."
Oh, absolutely. Yes, indeed. So, final question I'm gonna ask you is actually just kidding too, because I want you to be able to tell people where they can find you. So
Oh,
the
yes.
second to last question is, if you had a message right to anyone who is wanted to jumpstart their off their journey, but they're really afraid of doing it. They have ideas and they know they can write, even if they're younger or even if they're like in their 70s or 80s. It doesn't matter, right? But they have this idea. I just want to start, but I'm too afraid. What advice do you have for them?
Oh, don't be afraid. Just go for it. Why not? You have nothing to lose. I mean, just keep on writing and just and be disciplined, commit to your decision and just keep on writing and going and yeah, yeah, you don't have time to waste on fear. That's all in your head. Just keep on
Mhm.
going.
That's so beautiful. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. And so people who aren't aware of you, which would be crazy, but people who aren't aware of you, how can they find you? I know that answer, but I'm gonna let you announce that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm on social media. I have a website, JacquelineKopito.com. I'm on Facebook, author Jacqueline Davidson Kopito. And I'm also on Instagram, Jacqueline Twin. There's many places and TikTok. So I'm all over the place. So you could find many
Yeah.
videos talking about being a twin, talking about my book, different experiences. So I hope you find me.
Oh, and I will be sure to link all of your social media handles and your website, especially in the description of this episode. And I'll make sure
Thank
that it's
you.
included. Of course. Yeah, of course. On the social media portions as well, where I'll link your pages on there. The only one I don't have is Facebook, but I'll tag you in as a collaborator as well. And just help put you up, help promote you even further. Not that you need it, but it's always fun to get an extra pair of a new audience
Thank you.
to be driven to your content. So yeah, of course. So hey, you've been a pleasure to have on. Any closing remarks before I let you go?
No, thank you so much. It's been great here, and I love talking to you. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you so much again for reaching out to me. Thank you for your patience a few days ago, where a literal last minute, for context for anyone listening, we were scheduled to speak at a certain time a couple of days ago, and military duty hit me in the literal last couple of minutes. I ended up being free from one thing, but I had to go do another. And Jacqueline was so understanding, was fully dressed and everything and ready to go. I joined and I just talked to her, and then I let her know, hey, what was going on. So just without the drop of a dime, she was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's just reschedule. And I said, okay, when can you do it? And she told me when, and here we are. So I just wanted to put that out there, because that was so generous of you to do that and to be understanding. Some people I would imagine would be, you know what? Actually, never mind. I'll go somewhere else. And that would have been understandable too. I was expecting that to happen. I'm like, oh, she might not want to do it anymore. And that's perfectly fine. But I hope she does still want to do it. So thank you so much.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, and it's been perfect. Hey, and on that note, thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to tune in to today's episode. You are live with Osiris and Jacqueline Kopito, and we will catch you next time. Take care.